Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tales Does Tales, where we here at Tales of Initiative bring you tales of horror, intrigue, and everything that goes bump in the night. Mark, I love it. I love it so much. I am your GM, Matt, and I am so pleased to be telling this tale with our delightfully daring and frighteningly fantastic cast of players, Bun, Danny, and Mark. Hello.
Hello.
We are missing Haley because time went all weird. Some places need some more light or less light, something like that. I'm not really sure. Time is a flat soup, and Haley is swimming in it until the U.S. catches up and with the world down under, and then we will be able to get Haley back. But that will not be until closer to the end of spooky season. So in the meantime, in honor of it being October, the best month, the season of spooky, and also in honor of the absolutely wild stuff you all got up to during last session. If you did not watch, the spoiler alert, obviously. Hoo boy. We will be continuing our little Against the Blood Tithe arc, although slightly different angle on it now. Yeah. We'll
For
see
the
what
blood tithe?
For the blood tithe? Blood for the blood tithe?
Blood for the blood tithe.
Skulls for the... I don't know. We'll see what happens to Caspian, Powder, and Mirabelle, who are all now a little different. How? You'll find out. Before we get into that, a quick shout out to our sponsors, whose links are right there in chat, or at least they will be as soon as I finish typing it. And I will type it correctly this time. Damn it, I didn't. Oh, there it is. Okay. I did it. I know how to spell. Go check out our sponsors. Yeah. All other links are in there. We've got some cool discount codes. Toy. For all of your nerdy needs, including merch and apparel from Level 1 Gamers. You can get 20% off using the code TOI22. That's TOY22. Oh, excuse me. There's also TA Maps, who provides fantastic custom cartography. The bigger the commission that you bring them, the bigger the discount when you mention Tales of Initiative at checkout. And if you want some of them there Vidya games, use our GameStop affiliate link and get a Baja Blast.
Maybe if I get Doritos too.
Get some Doritos, some Monster. Just have a great
Real
weekend.
gamers.
These real gamers. Get your Funko Pops. Get your special collector's edition BG3, now with bonus orgy mechanics. I don't know. I haven't played. I just see what happens on TikTok.
The Caspian DLC.
The Caspian DLC. Oh god, it's like those God of War like minigame sex cutscenes that they had in those games. Did they have those in the PS5? Like the Norse redos? Did they still have those? Did he just like put his son into a random room like Dad's gotta go take care of something real quick and just like go off into a little minigame room? I have no idea. Why am I thinking of this? Why am I doing this to myself?
Oh my god.
What have you brought into us all?
I don't know. It just
Caspian is bleeding into us all.
That's the punch list apparently.
It's
when we
okay.
talk about
I just got all the sads because I no longer have the tentacle next to me. So.
Oh no. The tentacle's moving on to Danny. That's a fickle tentacle.
Ooh. Sharing is sharing, Danny. Okay.
Don't worry, Mark. You do have that hammer, so they'll still be pounding.
I do.
And I get a stick so I can climb away from your shenanigans.
No,
Grab
Bun.
onto the logo, fly away.
Bun, you just have a rock. You're just hard over
It's a
there.
horny stick. You get beat with it when you're too horny.
What are you talking about? I have the giant pole.
Ride that pole.
Wonder what that's for.
God damn it.
Wait, is that to get the stick out of your ass? Hold on, I'm confused. What do we have over there?
So off the rails. I love that this energy just keeps infecting more and more of our shows. I can't wait. It'll all be this. Oh man. Anything else? We talked about our sponsors. We need to talk about our content warning. Content warning, this campaign, these players will feature lewd jokes constantly. This campaign will feature cosmic and gothic horror subject matter relating to things such as unreliable narrators, hallucinations, body horror, blood, and terrible monsters like rats, bats, snakes, and undead. So if fanged femme fatales are not your favorite, go check out. I'm just gonna keep laughing through this script. This has gone off the rails. Go check out the Tales of Initiative YouTube channel.
Serious about this?
No, I
Gosh.
don't have to be serious about anything. When
I
we
am very serious about my innuendos. Thank you very much.
yeah,
Finely crafted art.
finally crafted, expertly deployed. You can go catch up on all of our other shows over on YouTube. We've got VODs over there. If you've been missing out on Sunset Over Vengalia, our currently longest running campaign, they'll be debuting episode 70 on Wednesday. Big, nice round number. We're going to be doing our cosplay usuals. Every 10 episodes, we try and do a little cosplay episode, so get ready for that. If you need to catch up, we actually posted a video where we give like an in-character summary of the campaign so far. So you can catch up on everything that's happened over those 70 episodes. And Total Party Chaos will be coming back not this Friday, either the Friday next or the Friday after that. I swear, one day, Billy will tell me the real schedule and we'll stop living in Schrodinger's labyrinth. But until then, just get excited because it's coming back with all new cast, all new crazy characters, fun stories. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a good time. I'm excited. And we do have a special surprise. We're still going to be doing for TPK, the like 3 weeks on, 1 week off. There's a special surprise for that 1 week off. So you can anticipate a stream every Friday. It's going to be good times. Anything else we want to mention before we dive into the game? No more God of War anecdotes. That's mostly me.
It's not September anymore.
It's not September anymore, no.
No, but now it is Kinktober.
No.
So
As if we needed any more encouragement. A month.
I don't think we can do that on Twitch.
No, we are all treats, and we will be tricking you into. Woo!
I'm just waiting for the Caspian fanfic to start coming out. Okay.
Yes. Arm the Tumblr cannon. Is Tumblr still around? Does that exist?
Yes, Tumblr is still around.
Are they calling it Y now?
As if anybody on Tumblr would take any kind of change.
You know what? Absolutely fair. That is the incorrect demographic for that.
No, they're still hanging on.
They're still excellent. Love it. Love Tumblr. Always the random fourth wheel to all of the internet shenanigans. And without any further ado, or a shade cast at random, a dude. There's no dudes here. Or we're all dudes. Who knows?
Depends on the day.
Welcome to the ambiguity.
Depends on the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All valid.
we'll see.
Yeah. Mood. Without any further ado, and with no more shade cast at random pockets of the internet population, let's dive in to the next episode of Tales Does Tales. When last we left off, Caspian, Powder, Mirabelle, and Lila had successfully infiltrated the Tolstoy estate. And had not just done that, but had found the evidence necessary to prove what this blood tithe is. It appears that through the wheelings and dealings of government, that Carmilla and this coven of vampires is positioning some changes to be made to one of the forts in the northern part of the Slenderan Empire, converting it from a sort of boundary fortress into a prison. A prison specifically designed to make use of the Krivpuri designs to extract large amounts of blood from whoever is interred there. You have been able to get the blueprints to this prison to be built, requisitioned at Loxola. You also have a ledger full of ideal first batches of prisoners to be rounded up and collected for the first generation of the new wine. You've gotten both of those things to Lila, who, in just the continuing running gag of Haley on this channel, is the only surviving member of the party who flees out into a carriage where the Countess has theoretically absconded her to safety. Caspian, in a sudden duel to the death with Carmilla, has wound up dead. Powder went back in to try and save her friends and found Mirabelle being drained by Carmilla as well. It did not end well, despite landing a good shot on her face. It is an unknown amount of time later when Caspian and Powder, you wake up. It feels like you have been in a very horrible, like, sleep paralysis-esque nightmare. Your whole body is tense and tight, and you are slowly, like, trying to move, but you are noticing that there's a lot of, like, force and restraint around you. Like you're bundled up too tight in some sort of gritty blanket. You open your eyes and immediately regret it as the pain of dirt and sand getting into your eyes stops you. For a moment, you start to panic that you might not be able to breathe covered in dirt, and you realize that you are not in need of breath. Your chest rises and falls for a few beats, but you don't actually feel any better or worse, regardless of if you're breathing. I'd like you both to make strength checks.
I rolled a 9 and I have a -2, so that's 7.
7. Powder, what was yours?
11.
11. Powder, you are able to push your arms through and lift yourself up, and you are now, like, dirt falling off of your upper body as you sort of look around and notice that you are in a very fresh bit of a soil grave. You can see a small grayish sea elf hand kind of breaking through nearby, not having the easiest time punching through this dirt as Caspian seems to be floundering.
I'll jump up and go try to help.
You are able to pull Caspian up out of the dirt. You are both still wearing the same clothes that you were in when you went to the party. There's like dirt in your mouth. You shake it off. Like there's just this moment of like unpacking the freshly unburiedness of your bodies before you notice two individuals standing nearby. One of them is Judge Gresk, the hobgoblin who you last saw with her throat being burned away by holy water poisoned wine. And you also see, standing very much out of place in this little patch of dirt, shrouded in mist, you see Carmilla. She's also still wearing the same dress and is just looking down her nose at the two of you, a small smile on her face. Welcome back.
What'd you do to us?
Well, I remember dying, so Like that was a very distinct things went black moment, and
Yeah, you felt like everything was over. You felt very much that beginning of the transition into that like liminal dark space. You died for a time. Thought you might be more useful.
You don't know us very well.
I really want to answer you, but all I can taste is dirt, and it's like gritting between my teeth.
That will go away with time. Perhaps a fresh drink. We have much to discuss.
Where's Mirabelle?
She is being attended to separately.
Should be attended to by that fuckboy.
Which one was that? You'll have to be more specific.
Well, I guess he doesn't count as a fuckboy. By the Virgin, the Prince one.
Yes, that's a more accurate term. He's not entirely spoiled. Yes, he is making sure she is attended to.
What?
Now, there's only a few hours before sunrise, and you do not want to see that. So, I recommend you be quick. And Gresk passes each of you a shovel.
You want us to like hit each other over the head? Are we?
Oh no. You'll need some of that dirt. Shovel it up into the boxes.
Okay.
And you take some time, you shovel up the dirt. Eventually the mist starts to break in that very early morning time of like things heating up and chasing away that midnight mist. You are all loaded up into the cart. The boxes of grave dirt are piled onto the back. Are you doing anything specific as Carmilla and Gresk ride with you to wherever you are going?
I think I'm gonna check myself over.
Yeah.
See what's changed.
I'd say investigation or medicine. Either are applicable here.
Gonna try brushing off the dirt from the fancy leather outfit, like.
I'll do medicine.
You're able to clear yourself off a little bit. You're not completely grave disheveled. More like grave chic. 17?
Let me just. Let me fix my hair real quick.
17. I just had a really weird realization about vampire hygiene. Anyways, 17.
I don't know.
We'll get there. 17. You, as you're taking stock, like getting up into the cart, into the carriage, your foot felt particularly secure. Like you've never had problems like walking upstairs or anything, but like you're noticing that physiologically there is a sure-footedness to yourself that is very different. You are also noticing that like little cuts and little scrapes against like rock or against the shovel or anything. Your skin heals very quickly, and there's not really a lot of blood that flows when you get nicked. Was that investigation or medicine?
Medicine.
Medicine? You would say that if you were trying to like, if you were looking at a body that was exhibiting these kinds of signs, other than the healing, you would call yourself a corpse. That is what you feel like. Like, pulse is almost non-existent. You're checking in again, you don't need to breathe. Air really isn't doing anything for you. And there is this just general sort of like paleness to your skin. And like the red has sort of faded into this like muddied gray, red, kind of pale color. Pale for a red tiefling.
That is the most upsetting thing so far.
Yep. And you are seeing very similar signs in Caspian, where some of that blue luster to the skin is faded. There is, you can't see your own eyes, but there is a brightness to Caspian's eyes that is disconcerting. It's not that brightness of like wet, alive eyeballs. It's the brightness of weird somethings lurking behind the eyes. So it is very clear that you are both vampires. That is not too hard of a guess. And on the way, Carmilla explains some of the basics, brings you up to speed on your new unlives. You will always have to be finding a way of sleeping near your grave dirt. That's why she had you gather it up with the shovel. That will be your bed, essentially.
What if we just carry it like pocket sand?
You can, she does say that pocket sand, pocket dirt, it works in a pinch if you need to be refreshed and rested. There are other methods, but they are always temporary.
If I were to just stumble into a new person's bed every night and I had some pocket sand.
You throw that down on the covers and excuse yourself in the morning. I would recommend gathering it back up, though, as eventually you will run out that way.
Carry a tarp. Got it. It's no different than some of the other things.
I have a very important question. Do I still have my cowboy hat?
You do still have your cowboy hat. I imagine you like sat up and like flew off a little bit and you Indiana Jones'd it like back on real quick.
I'm so glad they thought to put that in my grave with me.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, oh, this outfit is not complete.
100%. The vampires are nothing if not aesthetics first.
This brings me to my second question. Can we still sleep with people? Like, sleep with people?
Yes.
And can we get drunk?
It's a little harder.
Is it like you have to make the other person inebriated and then you chomp on them a little bit? And...
That's one way of doing it. I prefer just drinking wine. I will have you note that be careful about how long you go without feeding. Corpses tend to dry out rather quickly.
Ooh, no one likes to dry anything. That's why you have lube.
So we're not full vampire.
You are as vampiric as you need be. As you prove yourself, as you show that you can be useful in this new state, more freedoms will be awarded to you. Right now, you are bound to your dirt. Perhaps after some years of service, we can upgrade you to a box. It's far more mobile, a little bit more prestigious.
Box
I've got a box of dirt.
So, this whole thing, how does that work with, like, bathing? Does bathing count as running water?
Yes. You've hit upon the thing that the narrator had a problem with a few moments ago.
I mean, I assume a bath is not running water.
A bath is not running water, and it is the ideal way of giving yourself a little scrub and a cleanse.
So, can we just have people, like, bring up tubs of salt water? You see, I haven't been away from the sea in a very long time, for more than, like, a month or two. And I don't know how that's going to affect me. Do you not see the color of my scales?
Well, yeah, but it's no wonder you smell.
I do not.
No, I mean, just like every time you would like come out, you would just be like, you know, sailors smell like the sea, but you were just like, I always wondered why. Okay.
It's always rude to tell your date they smell like fish.
I mean,
Caspian
sometimes
is not my
people just
date.
need to know.
I didn't say you smelled like fish. Maybe like seaweed. No.
Seaweed wraps are very healthy for the scales. Thank you very much.
They are.
They keep them nice and lustrous. Hold on.
I don't really need them.
Lustrous.
Yes, you're going to have to deal with some changes. Beauty standards are different on this side of the grave.
Not happy about it.
So if we just both happen to like study to become magic for a little while, can we just like sparkle fingers ourselves back to sparkly?
Sure, if you find illusory magics, if you are able of conjuring glamours, that will always work. Avoid running water,
Meanwhile-
avoid sunlight, avoid holy
I can't
water.
be a pirate anymore.
Well, you can, and you're just playing with fire.
I feel like running water and sunlight are sort of the entire pirate experience.
Wait, I just had an idea. What if you put a bucket of still water on the deck and then you just stood in it?
That wouldn't really do anything.
Because you still
Why
have
not?
like the running water going around you.
Well, yeah, but you're in still water.
Yeah, but then that would like, because bilge water would then be considered still water.
If a wave came
Because it
up on
doesn't-
shore, it would count as running water and it would burn. There is a reason I don't tend to travel by ship.
What about lakes? Are lakes running water? They technically have, you know,
There's still water, for the most part.
currents.
As long as you're
Fly
not in a
over it?
current. You're free to experiment
That's
as you wish.
Huh.
I am not so cruel as to bind you to my service in that way. If this is truly an unpleasant turn of events, feel free to stay up till dawn. Watch the sunrise.
Don't get me wrong. The bondage part is not the issue here. It's the this.
We'll get you some makeup.
Gray.
Makeup will
Lot of
work
makeup.
for it. I will paint you a pretty red.
That's not gonna feel good.
I have to say, all in all, you're both taking this rather well.
Well, it's be dead or be dead, so
Yes, dead's the only option at this point. It's just what you want your death to look like.
do I have to quit the Commodore?
Not necessarily. We have
Won't
plenty
they
in
have
their ranks.
questions when they can't like take day shifts.
Just say you prefer the night. Preferences are respected, but I will have some assignments before you go back to your post.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm gonna look over to the judge. Like, do I still get that promotion?
Let's see how you do on this first one. And then we'll talk. I'm not
You were gonna
opposed.
take a promotion without me?
You're not in the Commodore.
You're a pirate.
Yeah, but then that would take them away from me.
Well, I was gonna tell you, but then
But then
At that statement, Carmilla is looking very intrigued by what's happening between you two.
I wasn't gonna leave without you. think
I
it's
can't
still
be a
gonna go.
pirate on the inlands where you were gonna go be promoted unless you were gonna be promoted on the Isles.
Wait, I think it's near water, isn't it?
Loch Zola is near a lake, but it is not near the Isles.
A lake pirate.
I think that's what I'm stuck to now anyways. I think those are just called smugglers at that point.
Isn't that what you
weren't
were?
Doing that anyway. Yeah.
Pirate was a cooler name for it.
You can still be a pirate. Just
A land pirate. That sounds weirder.
that's. Isn't
Fine,
there a name for that?
smuggler.
Is there a name for that?
A bandit.
Smuggler or a bandit. Could be a
Criminal?
bandit.
Bandito.
I mean, I was already a criminal.
Yeah, that's a bit square and rectangle.
Kind of just by, my entire
That's-
existence, I was a criminal.
That seems like criminal is an umbrella term.
I should
Fairly.
say so.
Oh, my gun. Oh, I need to get my gun back.
Oh no.
We'll get that sorted.
Okay.
Well, they just said that they would keep it until you turned in the other gun, right?
Oh, yeah. I like this thing, though. I like it.
Again, prove yourselves useful, and you'll find many boons.
Well, I did prove how good I am at aiming.
Yes, you did. I haven't forgotten.
She did the Dommy Mommy voice.
She did. I don't know how I feel about it.
I don't know if that means she likes you more than she likes me.
Both of you slap yourselves across the face as hard as you can. And you do.
Ow.
And you feel this like strange compulsion to do so.
It didn't even need to be a compulsion.
No, for you. Yeah. Caspian was like, your body was like, we have to. Whoa, okay. You got this.
Oh, I don't like that.
I don't like to abuse that privilege, but I will.
Promise.
You might need another punishment for Caspian.
Don't worry. I'm well versed in denial.
I mean, if you're into it.
Caspian, my first lover, is still hung up by his ankles in a dungeon. I've forgotten where it is. Waiting for our second date. So please don't test me. You're cute, but you're not cute enough to keep talking that much.
All I do is talk. That's really all. I mean, talk and like stab people.
Mm-hmm. Focus more on the second one for now.
Also decent with poison. I mean, I think that one. Oh shit.
And Gresk just gives.
I didn't know where the wine was going. I didn't realize until it was too late that they took it somewhere else.
This is a good effort.
Yeah, well.
Very well. The carriage ride
Drink
continues.
water.
You can drink water.
Oh, okay.
So occasionally I'll just like stick my head in a bucket and breathe normally. Okay.
If you want.
Oh, right. You've never seen me do that, Powder.
No, didn't realize you could do that.
Oh, yeah. Occasionally we just like actually swim and we don't have to like come up for air. That's what these are for, or were for. I guess now we don't have to come up for air anyways.
It's a bit of a moot point now. Is there anything else you want to ask her before arriving back at the palace?
No.
You mentioned some kind of mission already?
Yes. I have a feeling that what you've done has already let the cat out of the bag. But that doesn't mean it's all for loss. I have a lead I'm chasing, and I'd like you to see it through the rest of the way. Can't be getting my hands that dirty.
Surprising considering all that we saw you able to do.
Yes, but the Empress has so much else on her plate. Can't be everywhere.
Right. That's the whole thing.
You eventually arrive back in the capital. You don't go to the Tolstoy Manor, though. You go to the actual palace of Nivishkote. It is a grand and opulent place. Although, had you been familiar with it before much of this happened, you would notice the decor has changed slightly. There are heavier curtains on many of the windows that go floor to ceiling in some of the grand hallways. Entire wings have been blocked off. Very few servants go in there, only the ones who know what they are serving. In one of those wings, you are escorted into your rooms. You are given a place to set out your dirt in order for you to have a place to properly rest and sleep. Carmilla, along with some of her other vampire spawn, bring you up to speed on what it is like being this way. It takes some getting used to. But there's a small part of you that sees the allure, although that's dampened heavily by the lack of your lustrous colors now. In one of the tall towers, in one of those blocked off wings, there's a very similar scene that unfolds. Mirabelle, or should I say Mera, you wake up in a very nice but simple coffin. It's taking you back to your first arrival on the Caspian ship, the Singing Swallow. This one's less of a pine box, though, and more of an actual purposeful coffin. And when you move to open it, swings easily with no creaking or thumping of the lid. And you can see that in a chair nearby sits Liam, waiting for you to wake up.
Maribel's just kind of taking in, well, Mera is taking in the scene kind of around her. Like, first kind of getting rid of that first jump of, oh my god, I'm back on the ship. Everything was a dream. And then it's like, no, everything happened. Oh. And then the reality just kind of starts to slowly crash down about like everything that has happened. And just doesn't look at Liam at first, just kind of is looking more towards like her feet or like the end of the coffin and just says, I'm sorry.
You don't need to apologize. And he passes you a goblet that he had waiting.
No, I kind of do.
What would you need to apologize for?
If I... Mera will just kind of take the goblet and just run her fingers kind of over the design and feel of it. Well, something I had learned was that whole drink that I had taken from you, that was supposed to be yours because you were supposed to be safely escorted out of the party and away from all this. But I had to step in, and that's...
You couldn't have known that. You can't hold yourself accountable for it. You were doing, by all measures, the right thing. You were just trying to protect me.
But I failed. And now look at all the suffering and nonsense you had to go through because of it. Just because I was a little overprotective when I should have just let you have your fun.
I wasn't having fun. I was covering up my nerves. I was celebrating because I was supposed to. was being an ass. You were doing what you thought was right. That doesn't require you to be guilty.
I still just kind of feel it. I've been going crazy ever since I had woken up in that fake box. They wouldn't let me go home.
You stayed alive, though. That's something.
Well, it was stay alive or stay in jail. I kind of got into a fight with someone. Not my shining star moment.
You in a fight?
I try to keep it decorum.
Give me an insight check real quick.
That's gonna be a 10.
That's good enough. You know Liam well enough to notice the clear difference between how he was acting at the party versus how he's acting now. While there is this heaviness to the moment, both of you coming to terms with everything that's happening and where you are now, there is also this kind of like silver linings style happiness to Liam right now, where he's focusing on the good that's happening. And you're seeing him, he's not that shuffling around in the background, as Mark said, blood bag kind of person. He's a lot more vibrant at the moment. Still reserved, but he's acting more his old self.
Mera takes kind of comfort in seeing that, and just, I guess I also feel a little bad that I took away that band who were 6, but you know.
Took away that what? Sorry, I think you cut out.
Oh. I said I'm sorry that I took away that pirate adventure that you wanted.
Oh.
I know you said that when you were 6, but
There's nothing stopping us from it happening at some point. Then he looks at the box and is like, it would be harder now.
Yeah, I have to say that bite really hurt. How have you been able to tolerate such agony?
She actually didn't feed off of me that often. She would poke me, her nails. She would make sure that I was charmed, or at least compliant. But she seems to have her taste is very specific. It was almost like I wasn't
I
good
got
enough.
it.
No, well, yeah, I don't know.
Look, it's only us in the room right now. It's okay.
Yeah, I mean, things haven't gone the way we would have liked them to. I will readily agree to that. I don't think it's either of our faults, though. I've been watching a lot of people that I would have called good, I would still call good, and then I would have trusted, that I might still trust. I've watched a lot of them have to do things in order to survive. I don't blame them. We're all being given very impossible choices. I don't think the Empire is going to survive just by becoming a pile of martyrs.
Gotten a lot more wise since I last saw you.
I've had a very quick learning curve.
How have you been? How's your sister, my brother?
They're safe as far as I know. They are back in Perihrestya. And Mera, see, you know, or in character, meta break, you know that Perihrestya is the nation to the north of the Slarian Empire. It's been kind of a Cold War like relationship for a very long time. Perihrestya is a massive swamp peninsula. Not a lot of good natural resources, but the people there survive, and as such, they are a hardy folk. And basically anything that is coming from the more distant lands of Mirvindal down to the Slenerate, if it's not going by ship, it's going overland near or through Perihrestya. And so it's been this sort of like forced trade partner that military hostilities have been off and on, never quite breaking out into true war, but definitely being a little bit my sister and your brother were sent there pretty quick. I think Carmilla thought she would be more useful potentially as collateral, as a hostage of sorts, but also my sister's always been better at playing the game, and I think we both know that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, brother's still a bit of a doofus, but at least he tries his best.
He did try to protect us after you fell. He I don't want to speak on his behalf, but I don't take their absence as something entirely negative.
No, I don't. I know that they're probably doing the best that they can. I would guess I was curious that I didn't see, like, you and your sister together, because, kind of hard to separate the four of us.
It was not a comfortable change for anyone, but my sister, she was more willing to play along than I was. I was just mad. And so she was trusted to be the bargaining chip, whereas I was kept to heal.
See. Something that I guess I am a little curious about is Carmilla had mentioned that she said keeping you charmed was, I guess, a little tricky because you seem to break out of it.
Yeah, there's only the charm, as best I can understand it, and I never really got into this kind of magic, but as best I can understand it, it's like it's enough to make you regard them well, make you compliant. It's not enough to actually make you forget. So the more things I saw her do, the easier it was to remember what she is. And the easier it was to break out of the charm.
I knew you were a lot more resilient than you give yourself credit for.
Or just lucky. I don't know.
Well, Have you been keeping up with your studies and training?
Studies, yes. I've been fulfilling the role of a page to the Empress. So, in terms of being a noble, I'm doing all of that stuff. In some ways, unfortunately, better than I ever did before.
Regrettably, I have to say you have a fantastic teacher of the game, so...
I don't know how you're taking all of this. Please don't do anything against her lightly.
I know. I have to kind of bide my time. I mean... Liam, I got blood on my hands. I have had not one, but two people die because of me. Just... I think that would show you that I could, I guess, deal, because I keep one thing, and that's kind of the one thing that I'm holding on to very tightly.
What's that?
Do I really have to say it?
I'm gonna make an insight check on his behalf. Oh. On the subject of your dead friends, which their blood is on my hands too.
You did nothing.
Carmilla suspected. She didn't know until I ratted on you.
Low key, that was a bit of a dick move.
I can occasionally get out from under her charms. But when it first hits, it's horrible.
I'm sorry.
It's like everything you ever wanted, all in one flash of a moment. And then afterwards, every memory just goes red. But anyways, your friends are similarly, and he kind of like gives a little knock to the coffin. You've been invited to dinner tonight. So
I don't think they want to see me. And you'll definitely be a target of shenanigans.
It's dinner with the Empress, so I don't think anyone's saying no.
I wish I could.
I wish so too.
I'm still very tired. But yes. Should go to it. I guess why was I in particular like brought here and everything? Did you arrange for this, or?
This was Carmilla's doing.
I guess turning into a vampire isn't so bad. I got a nice box, nicer than the first one I was in.
Yeah. He kind of looks around the room, and you're now taking in a few more of the details, awareness kind of expanding. You are in a rather nice what you would imagine to be like a guest quarters in the palace. And you can see that there's already like wheeled in, there is this like extra clothing rack that has a few options laid out. It's been a few days. And she asked me to get your measurements. I'll be downstairs. See you in a little bit. And he like very quickly and awkwardly like shuffles off towards the door.
Mira's just kind of get my measurements. How did he do that? Oh, and he's gone. Oh God. I hope it's not all these weird sharp angles.
You do notice that there is a selection of various like styles of dress. Most of them are like approaching Carmilla-esque sharp angles, but there are a few softer choices.
Thank God, sharp angles look terrible. I have a slightly round face. Just makes me look more pudgy. Okay, let's go through. Okay, let's pick out something that isn't gonna require me to need somebody. Okay, here's a nice one. And then there's this one that's just, I'm gonna just hide it, and it's never existed. It's hatred and sharp angles in a dress.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know a skirt could be that straight.
It's got all of that like under I'm forgetting the names that you use for like the whale bones that you put in to make those like big hoop skirts and stuff. It's got all of I think it's ribbing, but it's got all of that, but it's like not to go like wide and bell. It's to like make these like odd hard cut angles that are just like this rigid skeletal. It's very much like if you tried to put on an Elish Norn fashion show, what
It's
that
an
would be.
exoskeleton. She's
Yeah.
wearing exoskeletons.
Mhm. Yeah,
Insectoid other mother bullshit.
it's very
I thought
yes.
they were trying to hide the fact.
It seems that within like the I'll fast forward a little bit to when y'all are at dinner, and it does seem like most of the palace still looks very chill. Certain wings have absolutely gone goth, and it seems that Carmilla is making more of that known over time to where she would rather be comfortable than keep up appearances. And it doesn't seem like they're lacking in any amount of square footage or real estate to be able to enable both. You are all invited down to dinner. There is an assembly of very nice foods, but there's also, you're noticing that the foods prepared have definitely been prepared with the palate in mind of who you are and what you are now. There's a lot more. You don't have to eat for volume. There's a lot of taste and sort of like little aperitifs and small morsels that are all, you know, tartars, undercooked meats, things that are leaning into your identities. It's almost like a sort of like welcoming home feast to your new unlife.
Blue state.
It's our birthday party.
It's our unbirthday party.
Happy Death Day. Alright.
Caspian just very subtly like throws bits of fish at Mera whenever Carmilla's not looking.
Give me a stealth check.
Absolutely.
I am covering for him by talking loudly.
Okay. That will be a 22.
I rolled a natural 20.
Oh, not 18. So close.
She lets a few go by just to like see if this is going to be a thing, and then you are like right in the middle of one, and her eyes just snap to you and like, throw it, I'll have you eat it off the floor.
And then we'll get up from
And
the
you
table
just-
to go eat it.
When Caspian gets back, I'm like, did she even make you do that?
I don't know. I just kind of did it.
I'm still covered in dirt glaring at Mera.
We have not cleaned up for this.
Have not cleaned up for this.
Arrived.
You
Because
you were
not here.
presented with options to clean up, and you very specifically chose no. I will not clean up. I will go grave chic.
Mara just looks at Liam, just kind of gesturing like, see, this is why I didn't want to come down.
And Liam is just giving this look of like, I get it, but I am not about to tell her no. And it's just well, you are all acquainted with each other. Good.
I think except for the Virgin, yeah.
This is my page, Liam Crovdell, who's very like the Virgin comment, absolutely just like, what the fuck is it? Why am I in the crosshairs now?
Guilty by association.
Yeah, he looks up long enough to give like a very like cordial like seated bow towards both of you, but it's kind
Nice
of
to meet
dampened by the
you.
reaction.
I've grown up hating you and your entire empire my entire life. Pleasure.
I just glare at him.
Pleasure's all mine, and he like swiftly moves back to just eating. And just...
Just a quick rundown. Caspian right there is a pirate, so you can probably see politically why they're as heated
Yes.
as they are.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah.
And then Powder's just kind of like they're like not dating, but it kind of feels like that they're dating, so they're just kind of go with whatever Caspian's doing.
I was wondering if I had spurned her in some specific way somehow.
Oh, I
No,
know
it's-
this is your fault.
No, it's just
Well,
it's just
technically,
because-
you didn't get in the
Uh,
box. She got in the box, and then everything went south from there.
Trust me, I'm not the only one bitter. I'm not the only one bitter about that. You tried to undress me.
I didn't try to undress you. I was actively going to undress you.
I was going to give you just a little bit of a gentleman's courtesy, but
I'm not
My
a gentleman.
God.
I'm a pirate.
you're a whore.
Only when I want to be.
You forget that's a compliment.
Extra coin in my pocket. I'm not going to turn it down.
Liam is very swiftly regressing into habits and is just like drinking white wine, like trying to find anywhere else to look at. Carmilla seems to be enjoying the chaos for the moment, but there's a fine line being ridden.
Oh, absolutely.
On to more fruitful topics. In the aftermath of you three, I should say 4, crashing that party,
Mhm.
I was
I
wondering
don't know
if
if it counts that she crashed because she got an official invitation and did her job.
well, you all arrived with an official invitation too.
Yeah,
it was,
but we
like,
weren't doing
real.
that job. That was hers was like a real job.
I don't think she really cares about the super minor details.
Yes.
Details are important. That's why we're all here.
Specifics
Yes.
aside, you all did a kindness for the gentle laugh, and now I'm going to need more than a few kindnesses shown back to me.
Sure.
She unfurls a map, places it on the table. And it's very obvious to all three of you instantly recognize this like a pretty generic map of the Slenderan Empire. Lots of recognizable locations and markings on there. She points towards a small town in the middle. I assume, Caspian, you've not been to Perihrestya.
No.
Not that far inland.
No. If this were a sea map, I could, point out all the things, but this is...
Sure. This little town, known as the Crossroads, colloquially, we've been noticing things moving through. Or I should say, not moving through. Something will come from one road, get to the town, and not leave. Now, yes, there's plenty of things being bought and sold within, but not nearly enough to justify these absences. Considering your friend's allegiances to the Church of Bel-El, I'm inclined to take a closer look at the town. Take a closer look at those places that might not be under such close scrutiny, either out of tradition or out of a misplaced sense of trust.
It could have easily just, they were brought in and then they were hidden in something else and smuggled out a different direction.
We checked.
Do I know anything about this town?
Sure, roll me a history check.
13.
You know it is very much as she described it. It's, 4 major roads coming in, they cross. A town has sort of propped up as it's right smack dab kind of in the major area of the Solarian Empire. And it's far enough away from anything that caravans can't really press on to the next spot without kind of taking a risk either at exhaustion or encountering, the Solarian Empire is reasonably safe from outside threats, but within it is still very much a, world fraught with danger and darkness that isn't just vampires. So there is a lot of trade that happens. But it's mostly trade that is service industry oriented. Inns, taverns, repair shops, changing out of livestock and animals and things used for long distance travel and caravans. Caspian, the way she's talking, you get the sense that either what has gone missing or something about it is something that they can key into very easily and that they've been able to pretty strictly track and be like, it's not someone just doing a little shell game with us. Something's up in this town.
It's not your basic smuggler's tricks.
No.
And would I have possibly heard anything about something weird going on in the Commodore?
No. You would know that town there is a small, it's not even a fort, it's just a barracks. But there is a pretty decent, ever maintained presence of Comandadoro there because it's a crossroads. It's as on brand for Comandadoro as you can get. But you wouldn't have heard any sort of rumors or weirdness happening there.
So they're still, checking into the main.
Yeah.
As always, okay.
No one's gone silent. I will say, Caspian, you can give me a history check real quick.
Because I'm so good at these things.
Hey,
6.
Nah, you haven't heard. You're like, yeah, it's some. Why would I ever go there? There's no water.
There is no water. It's so far away from the shore, it's not even worth smuggling things to.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to be a fish on dry land. Literally.
Well, you are now. Just pat his back, I'm sorry. Too soon.
I would like you
Just
three to.
Absolutely.
I would like you 3 to go there and investigate. Figure out where these things are going missing and how.
Just one small, slight hiccup.
Mm-hmm.
We look very dead.
Yes. I was getting to
We're-
that.
Yeah, okay. As long as we're, touching on the subject.
Yes. she brings out a small box, opens it, and you can see that inside there are amulets within. Each of them has a gemstone that looks ruby, but you can see as it sort of shimmers in a bit of the candlelight here, there is like, it's like when you're like, oh, this dice is a solid color, and then all of a sudden it starts, like, you can tell it's liquid core. Like, you can tell that there's a weird shimmer that's not just like the way that the crystal is cut. These amulets will allow you some level of deniability. Caspian and Powder, I think you'll in particular enjoy their side effects. You very quickly put them
Caspian,
on.
calm down.
They take a while because they are attunement, and I will get you like an actual like mechanics for them. But as you attune to them, Caspian, you start to see the blue of your scales come back. Powder, the red of your skin is coming back.
Just like start patting own face, start patting Powder's face. Like, yes.
We're back.
Mera, do you also put yours on?
Yes. She's just gonna look, just see them just fawning over, and it's like, I don't really look that different.
Yeah, for
I
you,
just
it's
We're hasty to
tired.
start with.
yep, pale as pale.
just I'll just keep this in my back pocket just in case. I don't think I really need it. I just need more rest.
I'm gonna ask for probably the weirdest combination of ability score and skill ever. I would like all of you to make a Constitution perception check. So add your Constitution modifier, and if you're proficient in perception, you can add your proficiency bonus.
Okay.
I am not. So
Mark, are you trying to puzzle out what I'm asking for? Like, I've
Yes.
confused you, haven't I? What could this check possibly be for?
I think it's the exact same as my regular check. 'Cause
Oh,
I think
nice.
they're both 12. So. My
So, yeah.
con and my wisdom are the exact same numbers.
Amazing. Powder, you said 17? Nice.
3.
3.
20.
20. Mera, what? It's funky magic. It's funky magic times. Caspian and Powder,
Don't care.
you both notice very quickly that you are like, you get a little bit of like dry mouth, and you get like, Caspian, I'll say because you rolled higher, you actually feel your stomach like sort of like lurch over, like you just ate, and yet you feel just that little bit of extra hungry. I keep rolling really high for her. She kind of notices the look on both of your faces. As I'm assuming you've noticed, these will help you blend in. I would still not recommend walking out into the sunlight. I wouldn't also recommend taking a shower, but it will reduce the severity of those consequences. It will also allow you to look a little bit less dead. Good for you. Your vanity is back in place. However, look, I want it. Yeah, calm down.
Yeah, but you're not. You don't have color.
I mean, you've got color. It's just different color. Like, you're fleshy toned colors. It's good in the fleshy tones.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of us with jewel tones, we gotta shine up a little bit.
Muddy red is not a good color for anybody.
I looked like a washed up rat.
You just haven't learned to
that really was-
appreciate those colors yet.
Yet. We're newly dead.
You've
we
never
can take a lot of hits.
You've never spilled your enemy's lifeblood into the murky waters of a swamp. It's my favorite shade of crimson.
I mean, but
Why were you in a swamp? That seems like the last place an empress would be.
Pantaragot, dear. I don't forget my home.
Oh yeah, huh? That's a whole. That and then you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Maybe this place
See,
will
I
be a
like
home
it
at
in
some
the
point.
seawater. It starts separating really pretty.
That is nice. Anyways,
Yes.
I'll put this
these
on
necklaces
then.
will help in some ways. However, they will
Nice.
increase your desire for the hunger. I don't recommend you go longer than 3 days without feeding.
What happens if we bite each other?
It won't do you much good.
That's just kinky.
It's more of just, yes, you could feel free to do whatever you like in your off time, but in terms
Well, I
of
was
the
just wondering,
effectiveness of
since,
it, it's
like-
more like passing the same amount of wine around several goblets. No individual goblet gets more or less full.
So if we like both took a sip of someone and then just like passed it back and forth for a few days and like took on the hunger and then passed off the hunger,
No,
damn.
it would be doing very little for you.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense, I guess.
I guess can't carry it around in a bottle. That's what you're trying to do.
I think that's what they were. Yeah.
You can for a little while, but what we have right now makes it taste very bitter. It's
Eh,
not
we-
impossible to stomach, but it's not ideal. And what few samples we have of that is currently being handed over to our new alchemist guild that is working on that. So, I can't part with any of that. You'll have to find some fresh stuff. Caspian, I'm sure you'll have no problems.
Hey,
Powder, that wasn't meant to be a dig. It was just... Caspian
Poor.
seems overly eager. Yes, that.
fair enough.
I was gonna
You're a
say,
little more picky about who you share things with. That's all.
Fair enough.
I would, however, recommend not leaving an obvious trail. Just because you've gone and given up the game, so to speak, on some of our projects, doesn't mean I want all of the Selentorate knowing who's in charge.
Oh yeah.
And, if my suspicions are correct, you will soon find that while these undead body of ours are very powerful and good at many things, certain things do not feel so good. And once you are dead in this form, you are dead for good. You don't quite have the staying power I do.
Do I know what she means by that?
Make a religion check.
Kind of high.
I'll say
so
advantage on this religion check because I think you've rolled high before, and Carmilla / the other vampire spawn would be bringing you up to speed on some stuff.
16.
16. You know that vampire spawn don't have any means of like once you go to 0, oh, I can get better. I'll turn into mist and go back to my grave or whatever. You done skis. You're out. You have a lot of the resiliency of pure vampires, but not the come back from the dead part. Whereas pure vampires, it is extraordinarily difficult to destroy them permanently.
So I do know what she was getting at.
Yeah. And, she would not have said this, but someone might have let it slip. If you'd like, you can make a persuasion check as you were chatting to the other vampire spawn in the few days that it's been.
I can certainly try.
You can certainly try.
With my horrible charisma score.
Caspian, if this is something that you might have been...
Caspian's more trying to get the lowdown of like the pecking order in the castle.
Sure. Oh yeah, this would fall in line with that. So if you want to make a persuasion check, you can.
Okay.
-2, that's a 13. Not terrible.
21.
13?
see what happens.
13. I'll say both of you kind of get an idea of the pecking order. It is largely by seniority, i.e. how long you have been dead. Among the vampire spawn, it is anywhere between close friends, depending on if you like, for example, Caspian and Powder, if you returned at the same time, you'd probably come out of that being like friends more than rivals. If you are kind of close in timing, but not friends, then it very quickly shifts into a rivalry of who can impress their sire the most in order to gain prestige and import. You very much depend since Carmilla is your sire, you very much depend on her for many things.
Mhm.
Caspian, you would have caught like a faint little like nod towards something, which is that the only way for a vampire spawn to be not a spawn anymore is to have their sire willingly offer their own blood for the vampire spawn to drink, or for their sire to die. If their sire is destroyed, then a vampire spawn would have complete free will. Or if they would get complete free will, they would not necessarily become like a fully fledged vampire.
Right.
If a vampire spawn drinks of their sire, then they become a full-fledged vampire with all of the additional powers and abilities and all that kind of stuff. Now, you would also know the way that they were talking about this, you would understand that like this is not seen as like, oh, I'll be able to escape Carmilla. The way that this was being mentioned is like, I'll be able to serve her better in this kind of way of like, even if you became fully fledged, she is still, she's something else. Like,
She's the queen bee.
Yeah, even normal vampires probably would not want to pick a fight with her.
Now, are there other vampires spawn within here, or is it just Carmilla's within here?
There are a few, but typically spawns stick with their sires. So there's a couple that are here from other places, but they are very much like sort of, they get the sense of being on loan. It would be like if someone from another crew was serving on a ship for a small period of time. It's like, hey, I'm here doing my job, but I'm not that on it.
Do I get the sense that she's giving Mirabelle like more attention or privilege because she's with Liam?
Ooh, that's good. Give me an insight check.
Congrats, Mera. You are our rival in this spawning.
You did this to yourself.
You
Right.
did this to yourself.
Insight you said?
Mm-hmm.
23.
23. That is really good. I'm going to give you something. I rolled higher for Carmilla, but I'm going to still give you some info. You're not getting any reads off of her. She is like trying to trap smoke and water. But based on how the other vampire spawn have been acting, how you're seeing this relationship play out with Mera, Carmilla, and Liam, it might not have anything to do with Liam. Liam almost like is unregistered in her mind. It's like he's just kind of there. The closest you could maybe think is that like it might be because Mera willingly came over, that she willingly turned herself and is sort of like, that's the best guess that you've got given what you know. So maybe that's elevated her. Maybe Carmilla is really just a rich bitch and is giving like popularity to the nobles. Like, so since Mera was technically raised noble, she would have better noble
Poor
standing.
commoners.
Right. You poor commoners, you can have dirt and you can sleep in it and be happy. But nobles, at a minimum, we're giving you a nice box.
My
Here you are now.
box.
Yeah.
Joke's on her. That dirt helps me sleep in other places more easily.
Yeah.
I don't want to whore around anyway. I'm content in my box.
I'm
Has very
content-
little to do with whoring around and everything to do with the fact that I can travel more compactly. You have to lug around a box.
At least I can actually lug that box. When you get a box, you're fucked.
And I will clarify, you don't need the dirt or the box all the time, everywhere. It's just like, if you get real fucked up, it's very helpful for you to be able to recover. Alrighty. Anything else you are asking of her? Any more information you're wanting to get on this mission?
What is it exactly that we're looking for when we're looking into this town? Because
People.
as you can tell, if we don't have specifics, we're not very good at our jobs.
Fair. People. People have been going missing. Specifically ones that were on that little list that somebody dropped out a window.
You have to admit it was a good move.
It was a good move. Game respects game. But yes.
So we're looking for people being smuggled. Okay, that's easier to figure out, like overall, because people leave traces.
Hence, I will say, why we knew that it was not traditional smuggling techniques.
Yeah.
People are
Actually,
easy enough to obfuscate. They're hard to make disappear.
well, that depends. We might have some experience in helping make people disappear.
And how did you do it?
Well, you see, if you find a different body that looks close enough and they get into, an accident of some sort, and then you create death paperwork, and then you just smuggle that particular person across an ocean somewhere.
Yes, there is that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 12 people went into town and 4 people left. That kind of disappear.
Sounds like they have an underground network.
Yes.
Probably literally underground.
That was my suspicion, but so far we have yet to find anything that obvious.
Do they have a well system?
They have a sewer system in the city, yes, but we've searched that rather effectively. You are free to poke your heads in and see if we've missed anything, but rats and bats are rather effective at that job.
Yeah.
How
Let's
long
see.
before we have to head out?
Ideally, you'd set out on the morrow, but if you need time to prepare something,
Well,
I'm
I'd
flexible.
like to get my stuff back.
Oh, you can absolutely do that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's no problem.
We all probably have things we need to. Other clothes and, armor and stuff help.
I'm sure we can find some things for you. You're in my employ. I'm not going to have you slumming it about.
Fair. But new armor is so creaky and it doesn't, move right.
This will give you a
But
good
at least
excuse to break it in.
Anyways.
I'm just gonna go back to eating and just Caspian just. I'm not gonna be dealing with this one-sided sexual tension.
Right. So people getting smuggled out. Don't know how. Is it going to be in any way? Okay, so these things, the necklaces, they help a little bit with the daylight issue?
A little bit. You'll be safe under an umbrella.
Under an umbrella.
Don't
we can make
push
that
it.
work. Yeah, but you see, if we come into town and we're searching for the people that they help smuggle out and we're only out and about during the nighttime, that also
Yes.
gets a little suspicious.
Yes.
Can we eat animals in a pinch?
Can you what?
Eat animals if we get in a pinch?
If you're in a pinch, yes. Blood is largely blood. I think as you go, you'll find that there are certain tastes that you will either like or dislike.
Mild randomly question, not quite random because we were just talking about it. Why per se did you have sea elves on that list of people?
You've been doing a very good job of smuggling others out. We wanted that to stop, or at least turn you over to
Oh.
us so that we could be in charge of that.
I mean, smuggling out, smuggling in. Come see, come sa. Fair enough. I didn't know if we tasted different.
Oh no. I mean, excuse me. I'm sure some have a penchant for it.
salt content.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
It's like a
Is
margarita.
anything spicy?
Not particularly that I've noticed. A bit umami.
See, you're better than that. You're already higher up on the flavor profile than I am. Was.
Depends on the person, I guess.
Mira now just has a burning question, which is like, I was on the wish list. Was I even worth it?
Many of those people on that list were not there for flavor. They were there for convenience, for purpose. We needed them either under control or out of the way. The fact that we could reuse them so well, that's just a bonus. Mera, you have something on your mind?
No, I'm just unfortunately now caught up on this topic of blood that I was wondering, due to being a holy paladin, if my blood has negative effects.
Your blood, no. In fact, sometimes it's more delicious. It's the further something has to fall.
Pure.
What?
Virgin.
Oh, trust me, it has nothing to do with that.
Besides, there's nothing wrong with waiting until marriage.
Liam is continuing to enjoy his meal. Just blinders. Just the world need not exist other than his dinner plate.
You know, that seems like a recipe for anxiety on your wedding day, but
Right? Like, why put so much pressure on the other person to perform under an already pressured, situation?
Depending on your
Doesn't
tastes, you're
necessarily-
always putting pressure on them.
Oh. Fair.
I
That's
see
not
it as
good
more of a
pressure.
bonding experience anyway.
but you could bond with the
Tastes.
Oh, bonding.
Oh.
Mira stuck as a vanilla person in a fucking ice cream shop of hell.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why can't I just enjoy myself?
Mira, the gallon of vanilla hidden amongst all of the fucking pistachio rainbow mint chip nonsense.
At least like vanilla, I am fancy.
Also, random aside, it does deeply bother me from like a historical perspective that vanilla is like the like
I know,
mundane mute when it's like
so.
one of the most exotic flavors that has been highly sought after over and over again throughout world trade throughout all the centuries. Anyways, history tangent over.
Aside.
Aside, Mexican vanilla is the best.
It is 100%. I won't say Mexican chocolate is the best, but it's very, very good if you've not had it.
He's deep.
This has been the mid-sexual tension vampire dinner conversation debrief on food and flavors. You're welcome.
Finishing me. All right, I think I will let you guys continue and.
So yes, is
Perhaps-
there anything else you want to know relevant to the mission?
Oh, thank God.
Which people exactly are we looking for?
At
Or
this
will
point, we
get
won't
that
know.
when we're- Okay.
I'm leaving it up to your discretion as to how you determine that there are people being absconded with, disappearing, teleported, something. There's unusual movement happening. I trust you to be able to ferret it out.
Yeah, we can probably. Well, not probably. We can do that. That's not difficult.
And I will
And-
just highlight, keep in mind, that any tactics you deployed with the Krivpuri might not go so well. You do need invitations.
For the town?
All I'm going to say is they started it.
She is very much.
I think it's the.
Yeah, she's
the
making
door.
reference to the fact that I am personally excited to use this as like a narrative blocker and see how y'all get around it. It is the classic vampires need permission. You cannot enter a residence without permission from someone that lives there. So literally no thieves tool breaking and entering, no opening a window and sliding in. You got to do something.
Oh, my 7 charisma.
Yeah.
Look,
Help me.
I've got you. I'll get you inside. You can wait out in the rain.
Any other questions of relevance?
No, I think the rest we're just gonna have to figure out as we go.
Actually, one question. You seem to know how many. Do you know where they came? Or is it just all over the place?
Throughout the Slentrit, it seems that the Gentle Laugh has done a good job of spreading the news that certain people are being targeted.
Yeah, they're a little widespread.
They're good at what they do.
They are.
But then again, so am I. So let's make sure that they know that.
Not in regards to this, but are they aware of our
Defecting?
That's not the word. That, yeah.
As far as I know, they are not. They likely think you all dead. Or, at the very least, they might suspect that Mera has been preserved. Every vampire is different. A lot of us prefer to just eat and not make more of you. I saw an opportunity.
We might have an in if we can convince them that we managed to play dead and escape.
Indeed, use that to your advantage.
I have a feeling they're gonna know as soon as I go
As soon as you what?
pick up my weapon. At least that I'm alive.
That you're alive, yes. I don't know how many of their eyes are still about in the city, or at least how many eyes would be looking for you. If you'd like, I can have one of the other guards go and do it. Doesn't have to be you. You're working for the Empress after all. Things can just happen.
That's true. No, I said I'd bring their gun back. I'll go trade it back.
We can always go undercover to trade it back and be like, hey, we need to try not to mention this to anyone to make it seem like we're sneaking around.
How are
Honestly, don't
we
think that,
getting transported to?
There's a carriage. It'll be several days' ride, but it'll take you there.
Carriage rides, daytime things.
It's shaded.
Okay.
I would not put you in a box to die.
Well, I guess you went through.
I might kill you and then put you in a box to make you live again, but I'm not going to put you in a box to die.
Can confirm that one.
Remember that whole thing about details mattering?
Yeah.
The order of death in boxes. Very important.
Yeah. I could see how that might be a thing. I wonder if that's how they're getting them out. Anyways.
I leave it to you.
Oh,
And she stands, and you can see that Liam, like it suddenly is like, oh, everyone's aware of him being there as he scoots out the chair and like does like a very deep bow as she makes her way out.
Is he still blushing?
He's not blushing so much as just like, it's like he's just, he's like, I'm removing myself from this conversation entirely and has just tuned it entirely out. Like enough was said that it was like, nope, this isn't for me. And he's just been weathering the storm.
Poor thing.
Mira's just leaning in like, sorry about that.
Sorry.
Again, I wanted to not do dinner.
Yeah, it's fine.
You sure?
Yeah. Better jokes than Anything else?
True. Guess they could have just tried to stab me.
And Empress Carmilla
There's
walks out.
time yet.
There's time yet. Give it time. She walks
You know
out,
what
and you are left alone with yourselves and Liam. If there's any additional talking or planning you would like to do.
Liam,
Oh no.
Oh. Oh no.
you're aware of the giant crush that Mera has on you, right? And the fact that she talked about nothing but getting back to you if we were capable of doing that. And,
Oh my god.
you know, there was the whole betraying me for you.
Is there a point to you saying this?
It's probably just to piss me off.
Oh, I'm just wondering if you're as devoted to her as she is to you.
Whatever my answer might be to that, you don't get it.
No. But now it's a point of conversation between the two of you. Potter, let's go drink.
I.
Mera just waits for the other two to leave. You don't have to. It's completely fine, like I said. They just like to get under my skin. This is a thing that Caspian has been doing since I punched him square in the face after my first box.
I imagine so. It feels very much like the tactics of a small man.
I will just at least say one thing. Please don't ever let me hold you back, okay?
How would you?
If I became a weakness. A debilitating one.
As I see it right now, you've become a strength. Carmilla has shifted much of her attention off of me and onto you. So I would give you this warning. Be careful how much of that attention you don't let it change you. Not too much.
I'm not sure why she's giving me such attention. The only thing that she even mentioned was just how I frequently popped up in, like, your visions and stuff.
I'm sure she sees it as securing my loyalty without having to keep such a tight leash on me. And I honestly don't know. I feel like I'm still coming out of a fog that's lasted ever since that night. So I don't honestly know how true that is.
Also, do me a favor while I am away. Please try to keep with your sword practice. I just... It would make me feel so much better if I could feel confident that you are able to kind of handle and care for yourself while I'm away. And you mentioned that you haven't been doing your sword play.
Give me a persuasion check.
$21. Well, the dice rolled back behind my computer, so I'm like, and...
Where'd you go?
Where did you go?
She seems to be giving me a little bit more latitude. I'll see if I can extend that to other duties.
Ah, thank you. That makes me feel so much better. Well, because it's because you're close with her, and you know how I'm going to start rambling.
I understand.
I'm
I
just-
will practice.
Yes.
I don't
Thank
think
you.
there's anything I can do to make it meaningful in the way that you're intending, but I will... Maybe I can convince her that it'll be useful.
Yes. And I think that you will make strides in progress. So don't put yourself down. I fully believe in your abilities.
Guess I'll have to get more familiar with Vigo. He's a fun one.
Oh, is he the sir that follows?
He is her common Troya, although he is obviously superfluous in that matter for many things. She keeps him around because he enjoys it, and it keeps up appearances for people that don't realize their Empress is a walking death machine.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of cause for concern.
Yes, yeah. I hope the laugh knows what they're doing.
I do too, but unfortunately I don't know, there's still a part of me that might be a little bitter, considering I was brought in as a piece of expendable person, and now look what that's done.
If your friends will listen, make sure that they understand it too. Going to the laugh for help. Neither side in this has clean hands. The laugh now knows enough to be able to push back, but that's only going to open the door to more bloodshed. I don't want Carmilla to be in charge, but if they had been able to get Lockzola running without discovery, I wonder if it would have been better for us.
I don't know. And also, between us all talking, I don't think they're ready to listen to me. They might listen to you, although I'm very terrified of you trying to talk. It's because right now you're kind of, to put it bluntly, a plaything in their mind. So, yeah, with me, they despise me because, I got them murdered and kind of destroyed their lustrous skin tones that they're so very up in arms about. But I very much worry about you being around Caspian.
Why?
I don't want him to rub off on you.
Okay, that's fair. But no, I find him...
He will flirt with you very much just to piss me.
Well, he's not my type, so no worries there.
Okay. Just let go. All right, I should probably start getting ready. Thanks for chatting.
You're welcome. Good luck.
You too.
He gives
Here,
a very...
take her.
He gives a formal bow and then leaves.
Here, we'll do a nice little curtsy. And leave.
Any other discussions or such? Before you... I assume... Technically don't need to sleep, but you could sleep and then go on your carriage ride off towards the Crossroads while I search for dice. I found it.
Do you guys have anything?
Caspian is actually going to try talking to the prince.
So he starts leaving the room and you just follow after him. Like, oh,
Caspian
hey.
is just waiting outside, like, hey.
Mera fucking called it.
Nailed it. Yes, hello. Caspian?
That's me. I need you to know one thing. Really just one thing. Mera's choices were her own. And I get it. I let myself die to save my mom. much as I could. Not that it's, changed much in the long run. But, that bit about devotion, that's the kind of stuff that gets people killed. More so than just this blind devotion. That's why pirates have the ability to rise up against someone who's been blinded by their greed or whatever cause it is. I don't hold it against you. Fun to tease, don't get me wrong. But if it comes to it, and I need to save the person who's become my friend over the past year, I'll kill you in a heartbeat. I don't care how much she hates me. And I don't care if Carmilla has to destroy me afterwards.
So Mera's your friend?
Of course she is. I wouldn't have let her punch me otherwise.
Okay.
That being said, I'll watch out for her while we're out there. You keep your head in the game here.
I have no choice on that matter.
Yes, you do. Incompetence is a great tool.
One I've worn for too long.
So is this thing called malicious compliance. Follow it to the letter sometimes. Surprised what loopholes you find at that point. Anyways, have a good day. Sleep. Night sleep? Whatever it is. Powder, where are those drinks?
As you start to
Powder's
move
around the corner.
As you start to move away, he like very quickly grabs your arm in that like, don't play games with her. Better men than you have died horribly doing so.
That's the difference. I'm not a good man.
You know what I mean. And he releases the grip and walks away.
I'll walk away as well.
Anything else? Then with that, I think we will draw our tale for the day to a close. Defang yourself and move on back to the world of the living. Thank you to everyone for joining us for today's game. Thank you to our players. This was so much fun. I am very excited to be running what is kind of an evil campaign. You all aren't evil, per se, but you certainly are hungry. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Spoopy month.
Spoopy month! So yes, in honor of Spoopy month, we will be playing out the continuation of this little mini campaign. It's going a little bit longer than we originally planned, but is going to be very interesting. I have hopefully some fun surprises in store for everyone. I hope everyone at home has been paying attention to all of the various things going on in the Tales Does Tales verse, because at some point, the main Forge of Fury, Tales from the Yawning Portal campaign will be resuming, and how we make that transition back could be very fun. A quick note on programming, we will be back next week with more on this tale. The week after that, we will be off for a week. That will be a little bit of a vacation for us and you, and then the next week after that, we will be finishing this little mini campaign, and the week after that marks the possible beginning, the re-beginning of our main Tales from the Yawning Portal campaign. So I'm very excited to see that. There's so much planning to do, and I'm eager for it. Until then, love yourselves, love each other, and as always, are you ready for more tales? Bye, everybody.
Always.
Stick around for the raid. I almost forgot. We're raiding. Stick around for it. We're waving and we're raiding. Goodbye. Okay, we're good.